Hello, this is John Montani. This is a video about LEED and the US Green Building Council. The main thing about starting with this, what LEED stands for. LEED stands for the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. Uh, what is LEED? Well, LEED was developed by the US Green Building Council. Creating a point based system in which a certain amount of points will be given to a property depending on the design, construction, materials, operation, and maintenance of a green building, green home, or green neighborhoods. The main benefit of LEED certified buildings are: one of the most important are how efficient these buildings are in terms of resources. The use of solar panels decrease the amount of energy that the building will use from other places, so which decrease the cost in the resource of the energy itself on the building. Also, like for example, having trees outside will decrease the temperature. So if you are in a hotter climate, and this will lead to having the apartments don't need that much because the shade of the trees and also the fresh air that come thanks to the trees filtered through the trees will help in decreasing the amount of AC use during hotter temperature. Also, there are savings in operational costs in the long term, like I said before, because these buildings are more sustainable, the less use of energy, the less use, for example, things like AC, the heater, and many things of this kind. Also will decrease the amount of different fixes and the use of the energy of the building, which in the long term the maintenance of the building will be way less than in a conventional building, that because they have excessive use of fans, excessive use of AC, heaters, and everything. They are prone to also break. So in this case, the LEED certified building will have a major advantage. Also, rise the sustainability of the building, like I said before. Using solar panels decrease the amount of energy that you need from another company or the city. Also, the use of trees, being close to a body of water, which is a running body of water, which will provide fresh air. You don't need AC in this case. Um, that's the major thing about this the building itself. Um, what's they having a lot of windows which provide a lot of natural light enter, for example, an apartment or any part of the buildings which you need less energy it costs from lights and everything like that. One of the things that most people when they want to create a LEED certified building and they stops many people from doing that is the cost. The cost of creating a LEED certified building is higher by a significant amount um, than an, in any other type of a conventional building. That's the main thing, which for many people the cost is so high that sometimes it's not even that enticing to get. And also, for example, people that are more in the business of building and selling, for them are even less because less profits are able to get from those buildings, because most people doesn't care about how sustainable your building is, are more interested about the price of your building. So having a high cost building in this case, many of these people don't want to get into this type of business with the LEED building. The thing about LEED is that LEED have many problems which have come with a lot of criticism from people from inside and outside of LEED. The main some of the criticism against LEEDs are as following. One, And that, like I said before, LEED certified buildings can be really expensive and more expensive than conventional buildings by a significant amount. Even though many times there are many news that underrate the significance in the terms of the initial price of creating a LEED certified building, which is more significant than sometimes many type of mediums tends to show. Because normally they just show like having a LEED certified building is a little more expensive than having a conventional building. And it's not like that. The initial price of a LEED building is higher by significant amount than the normal building. The second problem is that, and this goes more into the design process and how they are getting for to get the certification, the amount of points. That is that the in the design process, everyone involved have to be more are focused more into getting the most amount of points from lead than actually the design of the building, which sometimes it have to be like many of the people that work in lead certified buildings in the design, they always tell about how in terms of the design there's more conversation about the amount of points that they can get for certain actions during the construction and in the design of the building than the actual design of the building itself. The third problem is the point system from lead is actually very complicated because there are many things that they have outside. They are still putting more and more things each day, but there are many solutions and things that are outside the lead instructions for points. And there are also sometimes that many high complexity solutions in terms of more sustainability of the building, less use of the resources and things like that sometimes give less points than other fixes that are really simple, which for many people this also take them away for doing the designs for these buildings because sometimes there are certain designs that they think they will get a big amount of points, like 8 points, but in the end just give you like 2 or 3 points. And also there are some cases that happen like which in terms of, for example, electricity, they were using more different techniques so to make the use of the plugs more efficient in terms of energy. But this in during that time, the plugs and the electricity itself, energy, um, many things about energy in terms of electricity were not including lead, which they got no points from doing these fixes. The fourth point, which is very important, depending also the location, um, will be the bureaucracy that comes during for lead certified lead buildings, because sometimes to have a certification will lead to for you to speak with people that are really occupied or in high positions. In some places you need to speak with the mayor of your city, which for us, let's be honest, most mayors in many of the cities and more in urban cities will be so occupied that will be hard to get in touch with the mayor, which it will be mostly if you know the mayor, you know the schedule of the mayor or something like that. But it's actually, this is one of the things that most people which criticize lead and was told that the bureaucracy that you have to go through for the certification, and also the amount of time that you will spend, because the certification sometimes takes a really long time to get, which also increase to the problem with the leads. All right, that will be all about lead certified buildings and lead itself. The U.S. Green Building Council which didn't talk bad about the U.S. Green Building Council because actually a LEED is mainly led, pun not intended, by the U.S. Green Building Council. That will be all. Thank you.